So before we get to the finals, I just want to show everybody how empty it is when you actually get to this point in the tournament. Since, like, there's only 2 people left in the tournament even playing. There was just a little bit of a group that was here that was basically just kicked out. So they all just walked this way. But yeah, they just, once you start getting, like, when they call time at the end of round 9, day 1, and when you get to around the finals of day 2, they just start going, okay, get out. We don't want you here, get out. And the staff just starts, like, quite literally pushing you out the door. But yeah, they're already cleaning up all the tables and everything. So yeah, how you guys doing? We are at the finals of the Florida Pokemon Trading Card Game Regional Championships. We did just see my boy Nick Moffitt lose in top 4, so it is going to be a Lugia mirror for the finals. Andrew Hedrick versus Isaiah Bradner. It looks like this is the whole bracket there, in case you are interested in that. We're going to go over the accomplishments again. Andrew, the guy who tied Moffitt and ended up somehow getting into cut during the last round of Swiss, and then ended up beating Moffitt in top 4, allowing Moffitt's top 4 curse to continue. He has never made it past top 4, and he's made 3 top 4s at regionals, which is hilarious. We've got Peoria Regionals top 8. That was very recent. We've got NAIC top 64. We've got Indianapolis top 32. And we got Conlinsville top 4, but that was in seniors. So, not a lot of accomplishments for this guy. Better accomplishments than me, but not that many. So yeah, he probably didn't even get up from his seat after that last game. They probably just had him sit there. Or they probably just left his stuff and maybe gave him a quick bathroom break or something. They are both playing Lugia VSTAR. It is a Lugia VSTAR mirror. Who would have thought that we would see a Lugia VSTAR mirror in the finals? Pokemon needs to learn how to not make every set stupid. We have Toronto top 8, NAIC finalist, Indianapolis finalist, EUIC top 8. So we saw that Moffitt was not able to beat the top 4 curse. Will Isaiah be able to beat the finalist curse? We will just have to see. Isaiah definitely showing that he's been one of the best players this season so far. And again, yes, he is also playing the Lugia VSTAR deck. He's also got a Flying Pikachu plushie. It almost makes you think that he's playing Flying Pikachu, but he's not. That is a nice plushie, though. It's not VMAX, though. I like the VMAX Pikachu because he's chonk. Nothing super important prized for both players. I guess maybe an Archeops and a boss here. You got a powerful here. Capture and Lugia are going to reduce the consistency of having the Lugia start. Also a boss here as well, so they both prize 1 boss. Important to note, he has a hollow boss, he doesn't. I think non-hollows are better, in my opinion. We also got Shemansky on judging here. He's one of the best judges in my opinion, if not the best. He's always very fair and accurate with his rulings. He had to give me what was it? I think my opponent made some sort of gameplay error, and I called him over, and it probably took, I think, 30 to 60 seconds to resolve. My opponent ended up getting a prize penalty, but he ended up giving me a 2-minute time extension as well, which I loved. And that was during a point in Pokemon where a lot of people were complaining that they were never getting time extensions from judges. So I just want to shout that out, that he's cool like that. Judges should always be giving you time extensions when they give you a ruling, even if it's just for a minute. I know it's supposed to be if it takes like two or more minutes, then they're allowed to give you a time extension, and if it's less than that, they don't, I think, something like that. We do see an Evo Incense start from Andrew. Andrew was able to win the coin flip. Evo for Archeops, Ultra Ball away the Archeops. Gonna get a Lugia. Makes absolute perfect sense. Starts the Oranguru, possibly because it was the only thing, but also kind of, yeah, not on purpose for him, for sure. Isaiah probably started Oranguru on purpose because he is going second. If you're going second, you know you're not getting the first attack in the mirror. So you're going to start the Oranguru just to make sure that your opponent takes a 1 prize knockout instead of a 2 prize knockout. Oranguru is a lot less important to you than the Lugia. Getting your Summoning Star off and getting those Archeops into play. We are going to see maybe the attach of the powerful. Yes, we are. And then a pass. So this is the thing. So Andrew is going to have to find a way to move this Oranguru in order to take a prize. But also, if he does, he's only going to take 1 prize on Isaiah's Oranguru. So again, like I've said in a previous few rounds when we've had Lugia mirrors, Lugia mirror is actually skill intensive. There are multiple ways that you can skill your way through the matchup, and it's not necessarily who goes first, although whoever does go first does have a fairly big advantage. We do see Ultra Ball from Isaiah is going to get rid of a Double Turbo and a Lost Vacuum. Double Turbo is not really a card that you want to be utilizing in the mirror just because of the -20. You want to make sure that you can one-shot, sometimes even through a V-Guard energy. So we are also checking all of our energy cards to make sure that we know what one's prized and what ones are not. My Ultra Ball is probably going to get either a Lugia or an Archeops if he has another way to discard cards in his hand. Looks like maybe not, is going to get the Lugia. Still checking the energies and the other prize cards to make sure he knows what he has access to and what he does not. He's going to Quick Ball away. Looks like Evital. That's a little bit of an odd choice to get rid of, but I think perfectly fine in the Lugia mirror. It's just something that costs so much energy to get going, and you only get a 2 prize knockout if you go into a Lugia, and sometimes you only want to get 1 Lugia out in the mirror anyway, and then make it a 1 prize trade after that, so the Evital isn't the most efficient attacker in the mirror. It's usually a lot more useful against things like Duraludon or Mew VMAX. Just any of the VMAX Pokemon, really. Anything with large HP numbers you can't reach with powerful colorless energy. We do Quick Ball for the Luminion. Luminion to get the Research. Hopefully there are some Archeops in hand for Isaiah so that he can discard those with the Research. Also, important to note, it is Grandma Research, one of the lesser researches that is available. Always want to play Juniper, in my opinion. Juniper Research is the best research because Juniper is Bay. Grandma Research probably just wants to give you a Werther's Originals out of her purse. One that's warm and it's really stuck to the wrapper. And it's also been in there for God knows how long, and you're not sure what the expiration date was, so you're a little afraid to touch it even. She'll ask you to rub your feet, rub her feet for a whole quarter. So we do see the Evolution Incense is going to get that Archeops. We are going to want to be discarding that. I think that Research was with a 0 card hand, so we definitely want to be getting those Archeopses in there, if we can. We're also getting the Manaphy down too. Again, important in the mirror just because Raikou is a very powerful card in the mirror. And you want to make sure you get the least value out of that. Also, I did just see a fly walking around there. I do know what happens with the fly, so you want to stay tuned and watch that. I haven't watched this match yet, but I do know what happens with the fly. There he is. There he is right there. There's always flies at Pokemon tournaments because people stink. There was one very small fly flying around one of my matches at one point. So Isaiah does pass it after that. Andrew tried to flick the fly away, but he was not powerful enough. The strength of the fly is too strong for him. We are going to quick ball for discarding the Raikou. The fly is still crawling around, and Isaiah murders it right on stream. Go, Isaiah. Just smacks his hand right up against it. This is supposed to be a kid's stream, and we just witnessed a murder. Fly murder. Alright, so we are seeing a Marnie. Looks like a one-card hand going down to the bottom of the deck for Andrew. Gonna disrupt Isaiah potentially pretty heavily. We'll have to see. Oh, and here's a big capturing aroma. Are we going to see the heads? Or are we going to see the tails? Puts a card he does not necessarily want on the top of his deck. Capturing aroma. Heads! I think he's only hit heads with this capturing aroma so far. Isaiah's just laughing. He's like, oh my god, capturing aroma? Really? You're playing that? I can tell. He had to read it. I think the capturing aroma might have been what attracted the fly. It's like a opposite of a citronella candle. So we are going to get the Lugia VSTAR with that capturing aroma, so that tech card is working out perfectly for Andrew. Somehow, some way. It is doing the deed. Archeops is going to now use its Primal Turbo ability to get 2 energies. It would be kind of funny if we saw Oranguru attack into Oranguru, but I think that that would not be wise. So we're going to want maybe double turbo on double turbo and V-Guard on the Lugia V-Star, and then a couple captures from the Archeops onto the Oranguru. Yeah, so it looks like we're going capture Wash Water, which is, and then yeah, V-Guard double turbo onto the Lugia. So yeah, that's basically what I thought. Wash Water is less useful in this matchup, since you don't really need to attach it to Manaphy to prevent it from dying to something like Sableye. I mean, I guess it would protect it from Yveltal, but do you really think Isaiah's going to use his Yveltal to knock out a Manaphy? I don't think so. And yeah, it just takes that knockout. So with that V-Guard energy, it's unlikely that Isaiah will be able to get the one-shot with his Lugia. It is possible, though. If he gets 3 powerful colorless energies and a choice belt, he can power straight through that V-Guard energy and take the one-shot. So we'll have to see if Isaiah is strong enough to draw those cards. Looks like with a Marnie, might be unlikely. It's less likely to get it off, get the choice belt off of Marnie than it is to get it off of a research. Looks like he accidentally drew 5, but thankfully he did not look at those yet, so that is an easy fix thanks to the judges. Good on Andrew for drawing his cards the correct way. We are going to Evo Incense, likely for another Archeops. I think that Isaiah's already discarded 1 at this point, but another one is good measure. You want to make sure that there are at least 2 in there so you get that full effect of the Summoning Star, especially since Andrew got the full effect, getting the 2 Archeops of his own. You want to match that. If you're attacking second and only getting 1 Archeops, that's a really bad sign. Also, especially since you do want to make sure you can attack with your Lugia this turn. If you don't have an energy in hand, you need those 2 Archeops. So yeah, it looks like we do get the discard with a quick ball. So again, perfect for Isaiah. And since he was able to start that Oranguru, if he is able to get the one shot on this Lugia VSTAR, he will be ahead on the prize trade. If he doesn't get the Choice Belt, since Andrew was able to get that Manaphy down, there won't be any way to finish off the Lugia with something like a Raikou. Because if he wasn't able to get the knockout in one hit here, the best thing for Isaiah to do next turn would be to boss up, say, the Yveltal, knock that out, and to the Lugia on the bench with something like Raikou. But again, Manaphy is just too powerful. It has that, whatever it's called, Veil ability, the bench barrier, essentially. We are going to see the V-Star power coming out now. The Summoning Star is going to get 2 Archeops into play. And immediately goes into the Primal Turbo. Those Stage 2s cheated into play are now going to power up these colorless energies onto some dudes. Or these special energies, rather. I mean, they might as well be colorless, because you are playing a colorless Pokemon, but either way. So it looks like Heat Fire might be a decision. No, Speed Lightning. Yeah, he's trying to decide which are the least useful energies, so he can just slap those down because he does not have the Choice Belt in hand, so using the powerful colorless energies here would be a waste. Looks like we're eyeing up Capture now. Capture and maybe Heat Fire. He's thinking about a powerful colorless. No, just gonna go with another Capture. So yeah, they are trading 2 shots now with Lugia. The thing is, though, there is a double turbo energy on that Lugia V-Star on the left side of the board here. So on this next turn, you could see double Archeops charging up the Yveltal, and then Lugia retreating, and then taking a one-shot on Isaiah's. So that would swing this game into Andrew's favor. Because then he'll have the threat of a Yveltal along with a not dead Lugia V-Star. We are going to see another Evo Incense is probably going to get another Archeops just to discard it. We are all already searching the energies that we want. So yep, so Primal Turbo number 1 going to get double Aurora. Primal Turbo number 2 is going to get Aurora double Turbo energy. And Isaiah knows exactly what's going on. This is the perfect position for Andrew to be in. And again, as I said in previous rounds, this is sort of a check scenario. It's because Isaiah is now going to have to put up something to knock out the Yveltal, but then there's still the threat of the Lugia, and he still has 2 Archeops in play to be able to charge up an additional attacker coming in. Although Isaiah can always attack with Luminion and then put up something like Manaphy, I suppose. He's already gotten rid of the Oranguru because he had to start it. Yep, and we are going to Quick Ball away another Archeops. This time we're getting maybe the Pumpkaboo. Got a 3-card hand, and it is a research. So we're going to discard those 2 Pokemon that were just searched out, just to thin the deck a little bit more. We've already used both Archeops this turn, so we are just stacking our hand pretty thick, just to have options for the next turn. Looks like he's got his own Choice Belt there. Would have been nice to have that if you were Isaiah, but we are going to, looks like another Evo Incense to get a Lugia V-Star. Again, just thinning the deck out of cards that you don't necessarily need or want so that you do not draw into them later. Retreats the double turbo off, goes right in for the Yveltal. The amazing rare with amazing destruction is going to destroy Lugia. He's going to Hakai him like Beerus in Dragon Ball Super did to Zamasu. He's just gonna go Hakai. Vaporizes. I mean, Yveltal is basically a god of destruction, so makes sense. So yeah, so Isaiah is thinking here, he's like, what do I even do now? Now that that double turbo is no longer on the Lugia too, on Andrew's side, that does allow him to be able to have a higher damage output with the powerful colorless energies. So if Isaiah was forced to attack with that Lugia V here, if he was going to evolve that to a VSTAR and attack with that this turn, and knock out the Yveltal, then all that Andrew would need to do is charge up 2 more powerful colorless energies onto his Lugia and then slap the Choice Belt down, and even if Isaiah had the V-Guard energy on that, he's one-shotting that Lugia V-Star again 2 turns in a row. So we get the first Archeops is charging up the Luminion. Again, this is the best attacker for Isaiah in his current predicament here. He's going to be able to one-shot this Yveltal while also removing a 2-prizer from the board. Unfortunately, had to bench that other Lugia V earlier, but that's kind of what you have to do when you're going second. And when your first Lugia V is like that threatened so early. We are going to use the second one, is going to get a double turbo onto this Lugia. And also, it looks like an Aurora potentially as well. Hopefully, Isaiah has an energy in hand so he can attach to this Luminion. He most likely does. Yep, so there's a powerful colorless energy. Those will be great to put back into the deck. Isaiah is also using a Marnie, so that'll limit Andrew's options going into the next turn, especially since we saw he did just do that huge research, but he did also thin some cards as well in addition. So those are going to the bottom of the deck. So Andrew still isn't drawing dead cards because they were already pulled out of the deck. We do see another Evo Incense, which I guess at this point is kind of a dead card, so wasn't able to thin quite enough. Lugia V-Star comes down, involving that benched Lugia. Off an Evo Incense of Isaiah's own here. Yep, and we are just going to see the Aqua Return, or whatever the heck it's called, shuffling that Luminion back into the deck, and Isaiah is going to take his first singular prize card of the game, while Andrew is already up 3 prize cards, and is going to be at least taking 1 more here. Promotes that Lugia V-Star that is already damaged. Now we'll have to see if he is able to go Choice Belt, 2 powerful colorless energies, and Gusting Effect. So Archeops number 1 is going to use its thing. Are we going to go for the double powerful colorless energies? And we're going to do 1. And fail the other energy, interestingly. Well, he does have a powerful colorless in hand, so that is fine. We are going to Evo Incense for another Lugia V-Star just to thin that out of the deck as well. We do have a research, so we can discard that. Again, get those dead cards out of there. He does have Echoing Horn as well, so that'll be an easy way to get some additional prize cards as well. If he doesn't want to go through this Lugia V-Star later, he can bring back a Lugia V and potentially knock it out in 1 hit. We'll have to see. He might be able to do it with something along the lines of a Charizard. Even if Isaiah isn't down to 2 prize cards yet, you can always charge an additional energy to a Charizard in order to be able to attack with it. Yep, we are going to see the boss's orders onto this Lugia V-Star. So that is going to be enough to take the knockout here. That is 2 one-shots on Lugia V-Stars back-to-back. So that is exactly what Andrew wants to see. He is one prize card away from winning the game, and all of Isaiah's Pokemon left in play are already one prizers anyway. And even if he needed just 2 prize cards, he has the Echoing Horn in hand even, so does not quite matter. Yeah, we go back into Isaiah's turn. At this point, if you're Isaiah, you are behind 4 prize cards, and your opponent has essentially game on board. I think you just scoop and go to the next game. You still have more time than you would in any Swiss match, where you have 53 minutes left, but by the time you shuffle, you still have 50 minutes for 2 more games. Might as well just scoop it up, go to the next game. You have to accept your defeat at this point. I think he might be just looking through the discard pile to try to see counts on stuff, so that he has more information going into the next game. If he didn't already know his opponent's exact 60 by this point, he is in the finals. This is the only opponent left to face. He is going to Choice Belt his active. I think what he's trying to do is he's going to attack with this Archeops and hope that he doesn't get 1-shot, but I think that you can even get 2-shot. If you're Andrew, I think you feel fine 2-shotting. You should have enough energies left. He may have Charizard left, even. Yeah, even if he has the 1 powerful colorless energy left in deck, that won't be enough for an Archeops to take a knockout on Isaiah's Archeops, because it has 150 HP, and he would only be doing 140 with an additional powerful colorless energy. We're going to see Ultra Ball for Isaiah. Looks like discarding Heat Fire and something else. Going to be going for Luminion. He might want to play Marnie. But again, Andrew here has double Archeops on board. I mean, he could always boss and hope that Andrew is out of energy as well, and just hope that the Oranguru can't move. He did just check to see how many energy are in the discard, so I guess if Andrew did lose too much energy, you are in the right spot for that at this point. But nope, we're just going to go in with a retreat and an attack with the Luminion to finish off Andrew's Lugia. And we're gonna probably bench something that's... Nope, we're just gonna bench the or just promote the Archeops again when we Aqua return. Talking so fast for my... Talking faster than I normally do, so I'm tripping up on my words a little bit here. So yep, so Archeops just goes in with the charge on itself here. It's just gonna get powerful, capture Heat, and we see the boss's orders to just pick off the Manaphy and win the game. So yep, game 1, pretty landslide victory there for Andrew. We're gonna see if Isaiah is able to pull it back or not. Yeah, look at his face. He's just like, ah. So let's see if we can fast forward a little bit, skip around some of the shuffling. Of course, YouTube always hates when I do that. There we go. We loaded. We're good. Go straight to the prize cam. Double Lugia for Isaiah. That is not good. Although we do see a Lugia for Andrew as well, so... And an Archeops. Powerful colorless energy for both players as well could definitely matter. We do know how important the triple powerful colorless energy is for the mirror in one-shotting Lugias, so by having 1 prize for each player, it might make it a lot less likely to be able to get into the 3-on-1 Lugia. So Andrew is now, or Isaiah is now checking his energy counts as he goes first and starts Raikou. Not the ideal start you want to start the Lugia, but perfectly fine, especially if Andrew would prize the Manaphy, then you can take out the Oranguru and soften something else up at the same time. Has a lot of energy cards for one deck to play, I'll tell you. Yep, so we just go for the standard capture energy for Lugia. Wants to make sure that there is a Lugia in play so that you can Summoning Star on your second turn, the earliest that you can Summoning Star. Andrew starts the Oranguru possibly on purpose, just because he knows that Isaiah will be able to get the first attack, and knows, hey, if he starts Lugia, then I'm safe just letting my one prizer get knocked out, and then that is a little preferred for the mirror. And just passes from there. Was not able to discard anything yet. No Archeops in the discard pile for him. Although, Andrew's hand does not look very good. He does have a Luminion. I guess that makes it slightly better. I don't quite like that hand, though. You can Serena and discard some cards, but you're not drawing very many. And you could easily just miss with the... Yeah, you could just miss the Lugia, drawing off the Serena. But at least the Serena would be able to discard an Archeops for you, because he just got that Evolution Incense off the Monkey Power. See, Andrew just checking his prize cards as well. Alright, we're going to Quick Ball as well, so we can Quick Ball away that Archeops that we just got to get the Lugia, and then all of a sudden that hand becomes so much better. I did not see that Quick Ball in there. So the hand not nearly as bad as I thought. He could also Luminion for Marnie and try to mess with Isaiah's hand as well. That sometimes works out. That's pretty good in the mirror. Especially since he doesn't have any Archeops in the discard yet. That could make it so he's less likely to have something like a supporter, so that he, or a Quick Ball for Luminion, in order to get into all of that. We might see an attach of the Aurora to that Charizard. I would like to see that, yeah. So we're going to discard a Serena, and then I think we Serena discarding the Luminion and draw 5. Yeah, that's the perfect way that that hand was played. It looked like a really bad hand, and it ended up working out really well for Andrew. We do have that Capturing Aroma in hand again as well. We'll have to see if that ends up working out for him or not. Ooh, looks like Isaiah's hand might not be that great. Yeah, his hand kind of looks similar. He has a Serena. Oh, he has a Boss too. You don't want to be discarding that early. He might have to go for a Marnie. A Marnie would actually be good, because I think Andrew's hand is still pretty good. We're going to Ultra Ball. We're going to discard Lost Vacuum. Minion he was thinking of. So he's probably going to play the Serena this turn. So he'll Ultra Ball likely for an Archeops in order to discard that with the Serena. He really needs 2 Archeops in the discard pile right now, so... Yep, so there's that Archeops coming down off this deck search here. We're going to Aurora to our active, discarding the Archeops, and then Marnie. Okay, I did not see that he had the Marnie as well. So that's even better than being able to play the Serena. Because now you're disrupting Andrew's hand, hopefully make it so that he can't get into his Lugia VSTAR. And hopefully you draw into your own. And also discard your Archeops off of the Aurora energy so that you're able to actually, you know, do things. Here is another Evolution Incense. That will either get the Lugia VSTAR or another Archeops. Looks like we are eyeing up that Lugia VSTAR. I think we still do need one more Archeops in the discard pile, though. So I'm a little afraid if we're going to... Oh, we do have one in hand, though. So perfect. Yep, we're going to quick ball that one away. We are going to be able to get the full Summoning Star for 2 Archeops. Quick ball looks like maybe for Luminion. You could hold it for next turn, or you can just play it immediately. So this will actually be really good for Isaiah. So he'll be able to Raikou, attack, knock out the Oranguru, and then soften up the Lugia. And then even if Lugia comes up and attacks, you'll still be able to knock it out with just the Luminion. And you won't have to risk your own Lugia. So yeah, perfect. Perfect play from Isaiah. And we'll have to see if Andrew was able to draw an out to Lugia VSTAR off of the Marnie for 4 cards. Plus his draw for turn, so a total of 5 cards. Looks like we're going in with an extra energy. Oh yeah, because we have the capture, we definitely need 3 colored energies. So a little unfortunate there, but that capture energy did serve its purpose, was able to get that Lugia V down on the first turn. Yeah, so we do use the first Archeops to put 2 energy onto the Raikou, and then 1 energy off of the second Archeops onto an Archeops, just being a capture energy, just so you have a way to retreat on the next turn. You gotta think that that Luminion is going to be benched on the next turn, so Archeops will retreat into it. Looks like he's gonna go actually for pinging the Charizard instead. Interesting decision. I don't disagree with it. You have the powerful colorless energies in deck, so you can just put Lugia VSTAR up and do the whole Choice Belt 3 powerful colorless energy thing if the V-Guard energy comes down on the Lugia V. We're gonna have to see. We do see a top deck of an Aurora energy here. Yeah, if Andrew is not able to take the knockout here, he does have a Marnie, but if he's not able to take the knockout out here, Isaiah just wins. So we're gonna have to see, does he get the VSTAR or not? If he gets the VSTAR, he can still play. If he gets no VSTAR, he pretty much just loses the game. Oh, we do see the VSTAR. Alright, so we're still able to play. We're still able to do things. We also have a powerful colorless energy and an Aurora energy as well. So we are going to see the Summoning Star. I think we're just going to be getting 1. No, we do have 2 Archeops in there for sure, because he just discarded another one. Alright, so if we have access to V-Guard energy, we're definitely going to want to be putting that down. We do have that. So that's going to force Isaiah to get the Choice Belt on this next turn. He was just Marnied, so he only has 4 cards in order to actually work with that. Plus his Luminion got shuffled to the bottom of the deck, so he no longer has access to that either. We're going to see double turbo and V-Guard. Yeah, so he'll be still doing 200 with that. That's more than enough to knock out the Raikou. We are also going to see the second charge to just put a capture energy on the Archeops. Man, my phone is phone is blowing up today. so it knocks that out. 4 energy gone for Isaiah, but yeah, we're gonna put the Archeops up to pivot in case we don't get to the choice belt. Yeah, so if we get to the choice belt as Isaiah, we're actually doing pretty good. If we don't get to the choice belt, we're in less of an ideal situation. Yeah, Isaiah's shaking his head. He does not have whatever he wants in hand, so he definitely doesn't have an out to choice belt. He might have a dead hand. He's also looking at his discard and smacking himself in the head, so he might have made a misplay. I'm not quite sure what his misplay is. Maybe he no longer has the energy to attack with maybe an Evital. Maybe that's what he was going for. Looks like he is going to go for a Marnie. Not sure what those other 3 cards, or 3 other 4 cards are in hand, but definitely not what he wanted. Looks like a pretty dead hand from Andrew's side, so if Isaiah can get to it, he's got it. Although the Charizard can come up with its own choice belt and just trade one-shots again, so. Yeah, I think it would have been better instead of softening up the Charizard. I think it would have been better to soften up the Lugia, because then you don't have to commit all these powerful colorless energies to it. And then even if you do, you don't need the choice belt in order to take the knockout. So yeah, I think it would have been a lot better to soften up the Lugia instead of the Charizard. I'm not sure what that was about. So we got triple, powerful, and 1 V-Guard energy. We do have the choice belt. Alright, so he is able to get there. He has everything he needs off of his Marnie. That is actually pretty immaculate. Yep, and we take the one-shot. The Charizard does come up, but again, if we do see a choice belt from Andrew, we will be able to see yet another one-shot traded here. Isaiah is ahead on the prize trade, though. Very important to note. So even if Andrew can get there. He does have the quick ball, so he can go for the Luminion. Looks like he's eyeing up the Irida, probably so that he can get the choice belt. Yeah, that is the Manaphy and then the choice belt. Yep, that's exactly what he's going for. His hand is pretty dead after that, so hopefully he can get something useful off his prize cards. But again, Isaiah is just ahead. He was able to go first. Sometimes just going first gets you that far ahead. So we do go for the Irida. We get the Manaphy choice belt. We are going to attach choice belt, so we do exact 280 knockout. Isaiah is going to take a swig of water. Do not want to be dehydrated. Cheers. Remember to hydrate or dihydrate, fam. Looks like we're also going to get a capture energy off of a Primal Turbo. We do need 1 more energy to attack with the Charizard, since Isaiah's only taken 3 prize cards, so its Excited Heart ability only reduces 3 colorless and not 4, so his attack cost is fire 1 colorless at this point. Yep, we do take that one shot. The Archeops is going to have to come up. He's only got 2 Archeops, so his only options are Archeops and Archeops as a promote. We are gonna quick ball away Archeops. Looks like we're going for Stoutland. Oh, okay. So this is why he softened up the Charizard earlier, because he wants to be able to finish it off with a Stoutland. None of Andrew's Pokemon can actually one-shot a Stoutland, so this is actually pretty good. This will allow Isaiah to not only stay ahead on the prize trade, but also cushion himself from being knocked out by any of Andrew's Pokemon. So this is what I would call a checkmate board state at this point. We do also see an Evo Incense. That'll probably get another Archeops just to discard it, get it out of the deck, thin that deck so that we do not draw into such a dead card as Archeops. We are using the first one to put 2 energy onto Stoutland. We do need 3 in order to use its attack, in order to do the double dip Fangs, to double dip those prize cards. We do also need an attach for a turn onto this active Archeops so that we can retreat it into that Stoutland V. So yeah, as I said before, it looked like it would have been a better idea to soften up that Lugia, but since he was able to get the Choice Belt and take the one shot with the 3 powerful colorless energies, it ended up being better to soften up this Charizard, because now double dip Fangs is actually useful in the mirror match, able to get him 1 prize card ahead on a Radiant Charizard. He would have been ahead on the prize trade either way, but this allows him to accelerate even further. And then with 1 more energy on the next turn, he can hit for 200. So he'll be able to one-shot anything else that Andrew has available to him, except for maybe a basic Lugia V. However, if Isaiah just has some sort of gusting effect like Boss, which I do believe he still has access to in his deck, or another Choice Belt, he'll just be able to take the game off of the Stoutland either way. But benching something like Lugia V only delays the inevitable. We're seeing, looks like maybe another Quick Ball. He's going to get down a Charizard of his own. That is a perfect backup attacker in case something does happen to the Stoutland. Also great to thin the deck of that 1 card. Just maximizes your options to get into something like a Boss's Orders as well. You see he discarded that Serena. He knows that most likely the next attack is going to come from a Luminion. So if he wants to play Boss, he can boss up whatever he wants anyway. And yep, double dip Fangs for 2 prize cards off that Charizard. Not something you see every day, knocking out the Charizard with the double dip Fangs, but again, the perfect play for that exact situation. I think Andrew's deciding here whether he wants to scoop, and also is just looking through Isaiah's discard pile to see his counts on cards. It promotes the Archeops. Yeah, so what can Andrew even do here? Yeah, I don't see any situation where he can get out of this. Only because Isaiah needs 1 prize card left, right? So you can attack with the Lugia V? You can Quick Ball for the Lugia V, power it up, and hit for like 130 on the Stoutland. But then what does that get you? You can just get one shot by a Choice Belt, or Isaiah can just boss. Oh, it's also possible that Isaiah is out of colored energies for his Charizard anyway, but I don't think he would have benched it if he was. Because I know he's down, I think, 4 Auroras right now. And the Speed Lightning. He might still have access to the Heat Fire, though. Okay, looks like we're getting quadruple powerful colorless energies on this Lugia. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Okay. I did not see that coming. Yeah, so Arrow Dive for 130 plus 80 is 210, but the Heat Fire Energy is in deck, so Isaiah is able to win anyway. But yeah, that was the play. Andrew played to his outs. He still had that option. So as long as Isaiah's Heat Fire Energy was still prized, because that's possible. Isaiah took 2 prize cards off the Stoutland attack. So if Heat Fire was still his last prize card somehow, then Andrew would have won. Absolutely amazing. That's crazy. Yeah, so that game ended up being really close. So we are 1-1 in the finals of the Orlando Pokemon Trading Card Game Regional Championships. We are going to see how this plays out. Andrew will be going first, so again, that is a huge benefit in the mirror match of Lugia. However, it is not necessarily what wins the game immediately. Isaiah did do some real work with that Stoutland, and it is prized this game, but otherwise, nothing too important on either side. I guess the Manaphy and the V-Guard for Andrew is somewhat important. So we'll have to see if those come into play or not. We do see the Pumpkaboo start from Andrew, not ideal when you're going first. Isaiah does start the Evital, not ideal, but I guess it's okay if you're going second. It's not Lugia, so it's better than starting Lugia since you're going second. But it's got a more hefty retreat cost in 2, and also it's one of your attackers. So again, we're just going to be doing prize checking. We're going to definitely be getting that Lugia V down onto the bench. That is what you want to do. Every turn 1 as Lugia. I feel like a broken record, but we've just seen so many Lugia matches that explaining what's happening is just saying the same thing over and over. Quick balling away the Archeops. We've got 1 in there now. Just need 1 more. We are going to get, looks like Luminion potentially for a supporter for next turn. You're really just playing the quick ball more so to discard the Archeops than you are to get a basic Pokemon at this point. Because even if you get Marnie, sure, the Luminion goes to the bottom of your deck if you don't just play it, or the supporter goes to the bottom of your deck if you do play it. But at least you got that Archeops in the discard. And just a pass from there. Also important to note, Pumpkaboo does have a 2 retreat cost, so he's going to need another energy in order to retreat. Or he can just Stampede or whatever his attack is for 30. That's a thing. It could happen. You don't know. We do see Capture Energy coming down from Isaiah again. Capturing into a Lugia V onto your bench is pretty much the best turn 1 for Lugia. Getting a couple Archeops into your discard pile is pretty poggers as well. We are going to be looking through our deck, looking to see what Pokemon are prized, what energy are prized, what trainer cards are prized by sorting the Pokemon to the back, energy to the front. Energy is the most important thing to keep track of in the Lugia deck. Look at all those energy cards that are in his deck. Holy crap, that is like a third of his deck. Me and some of my friends have a joke that Lugia is a theme deck. The way it is built, it is 1/3 energy. Which is exactly how you play a theme deck. It'll make a great V-Battle deck at some point, I bet. Mew just got one, so why wouldn't Lugia? Do see, I think there's an Evo Incense in hand potentially here. Looks like we're, maybe not, because he's shuffling. Even if he does, maybe he doesn't have the Quick or Ultra in order to discard the Lugia at this, or the Archeops at this point. Just a pass from there. So again, Lugia's turn 1 isn't super spectacular, but it's pretty standard. Do have an Evo Incense. Looks like no cards that can discard cards. Luminian could always get a Research, and that would discard a Archeops that you can get off of this Evo Incense. So we are eyeing up that Archeops, probably going to do some prize checking as well. Also very important to note, no matter how much time they had in their entire match, they only have 20 minutes left for this game. So generally, how long a Pokemon game tends to be is 20 minutes. That's why 50 minutes is not enough for best of 3. But if it runs long, it could be 25. So we are going to go for that Research with that Luminian, as I suspected. We are going to be discarding that Archeops to the discard pile to make sure that we can get into that Lugia. So I think you attach the double turbo to the active so that you can retreat. Yep, you're going to discard that Stoutland because you drew it too early, so you can't do some crazy things like Isaiah did. Isaiah is thoroughly shuffling Andrew's deck to make sure he doesn't draw into any good cards. And it's all energy. Holy crap. There is an Ultra Ball, but there's no way to get the second Archeops that you could get off of that into the discard pile. Yeah, that's a powerful... What is that? Triple powerful colorless energies? Pivotal. Yeah, he's thinking about it. He's going to go for it. So Isaiah's a little happy about that. Or no, there is 2 Archeops in there. I missed one. I'm dumb. You're going to use first Archeops. You're going to power up this Lugia on the bench, most likely. Or the Luminian, actually. Yeah, you go into the Luminian, because then you can put the Pumpkaboo active. And let Isaiah knock that out on the following turn. So you already did your attach return onto the Pumpkaboo, and you still have 1 capture energy, so if you maybe attach another capture energy next turn to get another attacker into play, like another Luminian, you would then have the option to retreat that Pumpkaboo again if Isaiah does somehow miss the Lugia VSTAR. Oh, and Andrew drops a card. So yep, we are going to retreat the double turbo energy off here. Go into the Luminian and attack with the Aqua Return and put the Pumpkaboo immediately back up. Doing 10 more than you need for a knockout on this Evital, while making sure that there is an active 1 prizer so that Isaiah can stay behind in the prize trade, essentially. Do still have that V-Guard and the Manaphy in the prize cards for Andrew. So if Isaiah can somehow get a Raikou up this turn, that would be pretty good. Although he would have to attach a double turbo to his active to retreat it in order to do that. Yeah, it looks like his hand may not... No, it looks fine. He's gonna Evo Incense. He does have the Lugia V-Star in hand, which is what he needs. I believe he has... Did he have an Archeops in there already? I don't know. He needs double Archeops right now. And as I said before, it was peeling up here on the table, but now it's peeling up here, if you notice that. So, I don't know if they replaced this or if they got that taped back down, but this is peeling up now. They really need to replace that table or refinish the top. It also looks like it's just like fraying around here too. So I think they just need to refinish the top of this table. Ooh, just attach Evolve Pass. That is not good for Isaiah. Yeah, he just has a dead hand. So now Andrew can just run away with the game this way. Yep, so Ultra Ball gets rid of Powerful Colorless and Archeops. I suppose if you're this ahead now, you are perfectly fine with getting rid of a powerful colorless energy. Ooh. He's gonna go for the knockout with the amazing destruction. He has the 2 Archeops and the attach for turn. Isaiah extends his hand before the retreat even happens. He knows what's coming to him. And Andrew Hedrick is the Orlando Regional Champion. That is crazy. So yeah. So just because that happened very fast. Andrew benches this Evital. He uses both Archeops. He gets 3 colored energies and the double turbo, enough to fulfill the whole attack cost here. You can barely see behind my head. Then he attaches a Heat Fire for turn onto this Pumpkaboo, retreats the 2 energy, goes into the Evital. Evital's amazing destruction, Hakai's the Lugia VSTAR, and it is the game. Isaiah unfortunately bricked. Isaiah bricked, Andrew do the nuts, and that is it. Isaiah's top 2 curse continues, Nick Moffat's top 4 curse continues, and Andrew, who ended up tying his winning in, somehow made it on breakers, ends up winning the entire tournament. You could see how frustrated Isaiah is. Now, I did see this part here. Andrew's just standing here, he's just like, oh yeah, I won, this is cool. And I saw a meme where it's like, when you can't Irida for 2 items. Poor Isaiah. I feel bad. If I were him, I would feel the exact same way. I would be doing the same thing. And it's not his fault. Like, that's not his play. Like, he played well enough to have won the tournament, but unfortunately for him, just could not get there because he bricked. He bricked game 3. And that's what happens. You lose out on all of this money because you bricked game 3. And that's really unfortunate, but that is how it happens in the Pokemon trading card game sometimes. You live and die by the draws. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. All of that good stuff. Follow the Twitch, follow the Discord, follow the Instagram, and the Twitters, and the whatnot. All that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. I believe OCIC is coming up next. So maybe I'll be able to do that before I go to Knoxville and have those uploading while I'm in Knoxville. That would be cool. But either way, definitely going to have Knoxville up as well. So yeah, I will see you guys for those.